Hey, everybody, and welcome to Fantasy NBA Today, presented by FanDuel. I'm here today with Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, and we are catching up. It feels like I have not talked with you in 3 weeks. Is that the truth? How are you doing over there?
Yeah, I don't know. It almost feels like it's been a year. I mean, I just one time maybe. I don't know. I'm doing well. Last week I couldn't miss a parlay. This week apparently I cannot hit one. But we're only one football game into the week, so it'll be okay. But I'm good. I'm excited about the list we're covering today. There's a lot of guys I enjoy talking about, and maybe do not enjoy talking about on that list. So I'm excited. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm like knee deep in fantasy basketball B150 stuff. I'm writing team previews, putting them out on Twitter, and soon enough getting them over to Blue Sky, just kind of one step at a time over here. But it just feels good to be doing content. And other than that, feels good to be back on air. Feels good to be back into the swing of things. You look great, Steve. My recommendation is, now that you've lost so many parlays in a row, just shove everything into the middle there. And that's perfect timing on that. Just bet it all on whatever cockamamie idea you got going on there with the NFL. And
I like that idea. That's a good
yeah,
idea.
just shove it all in there. Today, and continuing on the series that you and Rick have been working on here, we are going through the top 37 through 48 players by ADP. Right off of the top, we've got at the top of our list, apparently the curse of being the 37th ADP, Tyler Herro. News broke this morning that he is going to be out for the beginning of the season. He's going to get some form of a foot surgery. It's an ankle foot impingement. I've had one of these surgeries, and the fact that he's kind of not really ruled out yet for X amount of time, and probably, if I had to guess, not ready for the start of the season, but the fact that it's kind of up in the air suggests that it's maybe a minor cleanup surgery, and obviously the timing's not great. I don't think he or his folks wanted this to be the case. So something's wrong. I did read something, and I don't have it sourced somewhere. I was actually driving in the car when I read it, that he did it at a workout, or he aggravated at a workout. So it sounds like an ongoing issue. Anyway, we're going to go through that situation. We're going to go through the rest of the top 37 through the 48. It's a really, really intriguing list. This section of the draft is going to be spicy this year because there's a lot of ways you can mess it up, I think, with your third and fourth round picks. Anything else, though, before we jump in here? Anything banging around that brain of yours, Steve, before we just get into some hardcore fantasy basketball analysis?
No, I was there. Was it Dennis Smith Jr. news that was out there or something?
Yes, Dennis Smith Jr.
How could you forget this? How could you forget this, Brew? I mean, this is big time.
I could forget my name. I could forget the name of the show. I could forget who you are. I could forget what we're talking about today. I could forget anything at this point in time.
Jr.
Dennis Smith Jr., signed, I believe it's an Exhibit 10 contract, and it feels like he's got a long way to go to make this team here in Dallas, the team that drafted him. So everything comes full circle there. I wish his career had gone better, Dennis Smith. It really felt like he could have done something. And then the back end of his career, after it all kind of went down and all those injuries, he, in my opinion, really pulled it out and was good in the 10 minutes per game that he would go out there and play. He would rack up quite a few stats, and there was something there. But he will be given a chance in camp, and it's Brandon Williams' deal that I believe is probably the reason he's got a long shot. Is they prioritized Williams, and he'll get some guaranteed money if he makes the squad. So, that is the other news of the day. And if you are watching this on Twitter, get on over to YouTube. Reason I say that is we are diversifying where we put out all of our stuff this season. So if you're not signed up in all the different places, if you're not on YouTube, if you're not in our Discord, if you're not in Blue Sky, if you're not all over the place, you're going to be missing something at some point in time. And that's kind of the truth for the whole thing in general, is if you're not in every single place, you will be missing stuff. One way to get around all of that, if you don't want to do all that effort, and I don't blame you, get the Sports Ethos app. It's free. You download it from your favorite app store, whichever phone you got. Get that, and you will get tied into everything that we do, our news feed, all of the tools that we'll be releasing, that we've already released and we're going to be releasing. You're going to love it. It's just great. You don't have to sift through crap on social media. So, get the app. Let's jump into the Tyler Herro situation. So I just wrote a Miami Heat team preview. It's not released for a while now, probably about 2 weeks if I had to guess. I'm releasing one a day over there on X, Twitter. The Heat, I wrote that they're kind of a easygoing fantasy squad. Like everybody's in their lane, it feels like. There's not a lot of question marks. And then the one part that makes them a little bit nice is somebody goes down and all of a sudden everybody gets to really get after it. So what's your initial take with the Tyler Herro news?
Well, outside of Khalil Ware, there are two Heat players that I really like a lot. And they are Norman Powell and Davion Mitchell. And this Tyler Herro injury gives both of them a huge boost. And the fact that we don't know how long Tyler Herro is going to be out. I mean, Shams flat out says he will not be ready to start the season. I mean, this could be we could be looking at January for all we know. We just don't know. Christmas. It gives me much more interest in Davion Mitchell, who I'd kind of written off, especially in 12-team leagues. Like, if he's not going to start, he's not going to get big minutes, then you don't really need to draft him. But I loved Davion Mitchell last year, so I would take a late flyer on Davion Mitchell and Norm Powell. I was a little worried about Norm with Tyler Herro and Andrew Wiggins there, but now this opens the door for him to score a lot more points too, because Davion's not going to be scoring points. And I've sort of had a I don't watch the Heat philosophy for the last 5 years, but now that Jimmy's gone and they've got these guys that I like on this team, I think I'm going to jump on the Heat bandwagon a little bit this year.
Yeah, I can't wait to release this preview, but that was my thought with this team. I'm not like an anti-Jimmy Butler guy. He's won me a ton of money in both, probably less so in fantasy, but more so in betting, especially during the playoffs. And some of the stuff that they did as a team against these teams that were better than them and making it as far as they did in the playoffs. Like, I was a fan. I am a Jimmy Butler fan. But the way that played out last season, the diva factor was certainly in there. The fact that it derailed an entire team's season, the fact that the franchise, they laid it down and said, we're not letting you run things here, Jimmy Butler, even if it means we have to sacrifice an entire season. I think there's going to be a massive release. Anytime you kind of have that diva that has to exit stage right, and everybody's been putting up with that for the entire X amount of time. Maybe they don't have the star power that they had previously had, but once that player person is gone, everything else can start to get going, and everything, that culture can really start to set in. So I think the Heat, this is a great opportunity for all of them. The Tyler Herro factor here, this is a guy that by totals last season almost was a first rounder. He played in 77 games. And if you look at his games chart, this is a huge outlier for him. And this one thing is probably going to send his draft stock tumbling. I'm kind of seeing shades of Trey Murphy in New Orleans last season, where if this news isn't that bad, if he comes back, Tyler Herro, that is, if he is able to miss like 5-10 games, but his draft stock goes tumbling because of all that history with the injury risk, that will be something interesting to watch. Davion Mitchell is a stud. It was criminal what they did to him in Sacramento. It sent his trajectory into Toronto into sort of a bad place. Toronto swung and missed. Miami, they get the asset. They get the guy who can go out there. He's like on the short list of players that can actually defend Steph Curry. He had a great end of season last year. Now, if this holds true and Tyler Herro misses X amount of time, I think Davion Mitchell finally gets another shot to be fantasy relevant, and I'm here for it. I think if you pick up him late in drafts, and then he can keep it rolling somehow, that actually gives him a chance. I don't think I was giving him a chance before this, but I probably give him a little bit of a chance. You want to share with listeners, Doc, how Norm Powell did for you for the first 2 months of last season?
I mean, I think they know. he just balled out. And then Kawhi came back, and I was sort of waiting for Powell to go away. He never really went away. And as Kawhi, the more Kawhi played later in the season, the worse it got for Powell. But generally, overall, I was thrilled with how he played. He had a big year. His first half was awesome. So, and he's got a lot of confidence now. And Andrew Wiggins, I feel like, is a little bit older. I could see Norm Powell having another good year for the Heat.
There was probably a top 30 stretch in there for Norm Powell at the start of last season. And the thing about the Heat, one thing I liked about their just pure reality basketball situation, you have players that fit specific roles that there is not a lot of, question about what the guy's on the floor to do. And now you take out Tyler Herro, if he is out of, say, a month or something, Norm Powell fills that role right away. They need a scorer. They need somebody who can get in there and break the paint. They need somebody who can be aggressive, take the shot, immediately when the shot needs to be taken. You got a lot of guys whose games are a little bit passive, and he's going to just go gangbusters in any game that Tyler Herro is not in there. So I guess the questions that we've been asking about these top players is, would you be drafting them at these ADPs? Are you excited about these ADPs? Tyler Herro's ADP is about to go crashing, my guess. Let's say it settles in around, 60. It's at 37 right now. If it settles in around 60, are you buying or are you selling?
As of today, if I had a draft today, I would probably not mess with Tyler Herro because I don't know when he's going to play. By the time we're doing real drafts we're not that far away from doing real drafts, are we?
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
Hopefully we have more information before then, because as it stands, I'm not real comfortable drafting Herro. Now, pick 60. Yeah, I could see me doing that. But I would like to have more information before making that decision.
Oh, I love a distressed asset. And Trey Murphy was somebody that absolutely killed for us last year. We're getting him at 90, 100, 110, just these crazy numbers. And we'll see. I don't think that's going to happen because he's a big buzzy name coming off of a big buzzy year. So I don't know if there'll be the juice will be worth the squeeze there. Let's get to the next name because I think the take's going to be pretty obvious. Pretty shocking, actually, to see Ivica Zubac at 38 as an ADP. It's shocking in this couple things. Like, people barely know who this guy is, on the national level. Usually that'll drive ADP. Are you surprised to see him this high?
Not really. I think a lot of these early ADPs are based on what the guy did last year. Zubac was basically an all-star last year. Top 30 fantasy value. A whopping 33 minutes a game, bro. Like, that's insane. And then a double-double with strong numbers. Like, he had a great year. I loved Zubac's year last year. I was happy where I had him. I was jealous of people who had him where I didn't have him. But I started looking at this coming season. I'm like, he ain't playing 33 minutes again. Brook Lopez is not there to play 10 minutes a night. Brooks going to play 20. They have John Collins now. Zubac had to be out there for 33 minutes last year. He does not have to be out there for 33 minutes this year. And he's coming off a career year. So 17 points, 12.5 boards, 1.1 blocks, and 0.7 steals. So the chances of any of those things happening again, I do not think are great. I'm fading Zubac pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm doing the same, and
I do not like this ADP.
No. ADP is really, really just a tough topic in general because it's a crap data point, and it's kind of not all that valuable, but it does give us something to talk about here. All the reasons you said, and then some. Love Zubac, the player, as far as what he does offensively. That's just, there's too many bodies, and Brook Lopez is a pretty good basketball player. So that will be that for me. Let's get into something a little bit more juicy. Ja Morant comes in at 39 here. And you've got this newfangled almost Memphis Grizzlies team. I thought the trade did lots of good things for this team. They turn the page in a way that they get assets. And Ja and Triple J, they need to do something here. I think, if they don't do something as a duo, if they don't make this thing go forward, you're going to start thinking, okay, one of them's got to go. Somebody's got to go. Something's got to happen that's different here. But this trade allows them to breathe new life into the organization. And they have a new coach. I forget, it's Thomas with a U in it. It's Thomas. And I think that's so funny. But we'll save that for some other time. Isalo is bringing an offense that they've been working with for about a year. And also after he took over as head coach, they didn't change too much. So now they've gotten a summer to really put these principles in. And it's a quick hitting, kind of Indiana Pacers like offense, and there's a lot of movement, and it's defined movement. I really love it. I really think the concept is great, but it might do something weird to fantasy stats. But it also might put Ja Morant in one of two buckets. He might buy into this. If he buys into this, this is kind of exciting. If he doesn't buy into it, maybe that means he's not going to stick around very much. But are you going to give this guy a chance? Like I know he's on Rick's never do not draft list for the rest of life, I think. Do you have a home for Ja Morant on any of your fantasy squads?
With the exception of only a couple players like Dyson Daniels and there's another one out there I can't think of. Rick and I are sort of morphing each other into the same person. It's weird. Like we sell each other on these ideas.
You guys hanging out again?
We're not really hanging out, but when we do, we seem to be on the same page regarding most basketball players. So I mean, just if you just look at Ja's game played log since his rookie season, it's bad. 50 games last year, and it's just not good. And I don't feel like he's an injury-prone player. He's either getting in trouble or he's twisting an ankle. But I don't feel like he does these has these really bad injuries. So I'm not scared of him injury-wise. I'm just scared that he's not going to play in enough games. And as Rick would say, Ja may not love the game enough to play in more than 50 games. So I don't like the ADP. I think it's too early for Ja. I'm probably not drafting Ja anywhere. The one time I did in 30 deep a few years ago, it was a disaster. So I think I'm out on Ja.
I wish that the name value wasn't translating into this much attention. Even, when you get out of ADP and you kind of get out of kind of casual industry talk, you've got, Ja Morant still carries that connotation in high stakes and in ringer leagues. And I think this is the season it could happen for him. So I feel like I will miss out. I feel like people who are kind of knowledgeable about the game and know what Ja's done in fantasy leagues, not much, and they'll all fade him. And this will be the year that we kind of, maybe the public wins on Ja Morant. So I'm a little bit bummed out about that. But for all the reasons you said, and even more, 39 is just way too rich for my blood. So I will be passing on that. Let's take a look at Derek White. You got the Boston Celtics in a gap year, according to some. Some people think they'll compete. I think the players probably want to compete. It feels like one major occurrence there, one major injury might be enough to tip it the wrong direction. Where are you at with Derek White? He's number 40 on this list. He's finally getting the respect he deserves.
Rick is completely sold on the Celtics completely tanking. I kind of agree with that. I think they should. I think they probably will, but I'm not. For some reason, I feel like Derek White is immune. He's kind of a dog, right? Like Jaylen Brown is such a big name and a big star. I could see him being shut down early. If Derek White got hurt, I think they would shut him down. But if he doesn't get hurt and there's no reason for him not to play, I feel like he's going to play through this. And I love Derek White, man. I loved him last year. I loved him. I love him this year. I think I like 40 for Derek White, because if he plays, he's going to easily beat it. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this one, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Celtics are going to tank it up, and maybe they're going to shut down all their best players, which would include Derek White. But I don't think the league looks as favorably at that as they used to, and I feel like Derek White's going to play this year.
It's funny. I should have probably known this a little bit better than I did heading into this offseason. But the flattened lottery odds are pretty damn flat. Like, you don't get a guaranteed. You got a less than coin flip chance if you're a 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed to get the lottery odds wise to get the top pick. To get a top 3 pick. Like, you are going to be penalized if you take this tanking route. So, I mean, you saw Dallas get Cooper Flag, lightning striking twice in the same spot. Might not be very likely, but I think teams around the league are gonna feel like competing for that play-in. If you've got a chance and you can stay in the 8, 9, 10 range of the lottery, you're probably in a decent little spot there. So I'm curious to see how that angle plays out league-wide. As far as Derek White goes, my thoughts on him is that he's just got gears we have not seen. And he's going to get a chance this season to show what he could do. I wonder what Jaylen Brown's going to do. I mean, that dude with a team full of stars can take the ball, pound it into the ground, and turn an offense into something weird really quick. Now that those guys are all gone and he's got the $300 million contract, is he going to feel the pressure to take this thing, put it on his back? And does that somehow ice out everybody else? And can we get our stats from our guys before whatever might happen happens? That's the other thing here. And in a head-to-head situation, it gets really dicey when you look at teams with players that have injury risk, which, by the way, Derek White has had some injury troubles in his career. What's happening in April? What's happening in March? These are the questions that in a head-to-head situation, I think you really got to take a look at. So Derek White, love him to death. And I'll probably be going for him, but some question marks there. And let's get to the next guy. But before I do that, producer Andre Lamouche is typing at me in some classic Rick Kamla all caps. I think he wants my attention here. I said it earlier, but if you're watching on Twitter, make sure you're following us at Ethos Fantasy NBA. Also, not all of our episodes are available here on Twitter, so be sure to subscribe to the Sports Ethos YouTube channel and the Fantasy NBA Today podcast feed. So there you go, Andre. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Dyson Daniels is up next. Topic du jour in fantasy leagues. 41. This ADP sucks. But it's ADP data. I don't think Dyson Daniels is going 41 in competitive leagues. Where are you seeing Dyson Daniels go in competitive leagues?
I don't know, because I haven't done any competitive drafts yet. But I kind of like the 41 for Dyson Daniels. Like, I'd gladly take him there.
Has anybody got any data on Dyson Daniels in these way too early mock drafts? Do we have that? Anybody? Bueller?
I mean, I think this is it right here. 41.
Yeah, but I can't even imagine Dyson Daniels going 41.
Dude, Rick doesn't even. I don't even know if Rick would like him at 41.
Well, let's get into that. What's the downside? What's the case against Dyson Daniels? Let's go head to head.
Jalen's back. Porzingis is there. He doesn't score enough points, and his value is all tied to steals.
I am incredibly cognizant of that steals heavy value proposition. And I'm very curious to see if we see a longer term trend in steals going up in the NBA, perhaps due to the way that offense starts to get played. We've got a lot of teams that are trying to do the indie thing now, kicking the ball up the floor, just trying to get as much advantage as they can. And lo and behold, if you play like that, you're going to maybe see more turnovers and more steals. But I don't know if that was what was driving Dyson Daniels' number. I mean, this dude, it felt like he took defense to another level with the approach to the game and the strategy of a night-to-night, how he's navigating pick and rolls, how he's navigating digs, how he's reading the offense. maybe I think he might have seen some kind of glitch in the matrix and he was able to expose it. So if that doesn't happen again, Dyson Daniels will be a huge disappointment, I think, for somebody taking him in the second round, which is where I kind of think he's going in drafts. But I'll give you one counterpoint. And I mean, they let go of Kobe Buffkin in Atlanta. Not that Kobe was going to be some big needle mover there, but that's one capable ball handler that you get out of the equation there. And now all of a sudden, you're kind of looking at your team. Yeah, you got a lot of ball handlers that can make plays and whatnot. But maybe this is a signal that they're ready to let Dyson Daniels cook a little bit. And I think that if he does, then it starts to flatten that value out a little bit where he's going to give you contributions in different areas and take away some of the risk. If steals go down, or let's say you can't win steals by, you can only win 1 point in the steals category and you start to get you over accumulate steals, that could be another problem. But if he can flatten it out, maybe there's something there. But let's go look at it like this. If he's at 30, do you take him there?
Yeah. I mean, I've got Daniels ranked pretty ridiculously high. I've got him 27-ish.
Well, there you go.
That's that. It'll depend on how I'm feeling on draft day. But man, you look at the numbers, and Rick's a big PRA guy. Like, he loves points, rebounds, and assists. I think we all do. And Daniel's numbers are not that great there, but he's a great. He's 49% from the floor last year. Now his free throws are bad, 59, but all of the rest of his numbers, the turnovers are low, the field goal percentage is high, the rebounds, 6 boards, 4.5 assists, 0.7 blocks, like all the numbers are there. And Brew, you mentioned him maybe even going up this year in steals, and I think he's going to be obsessed with steals this season, and I think he was last year too. But he's like, man, if I could get 3 last year, could I get 3.5 or 4 this year? And I got Jalen back. I got Porzingis out there, so they don't need me to worry about things at the other end of the court that much. I'm just going to be a demon, and I'm here for it. And I'm not really, I have no problem drafting Dyson Daniels after his blow-up career year, because I think he's going to do it again.
What about the second round? I mean, you got him at 27. Is second round just too crazy for you?
I don't think I'll take him in the second round. But I don't know. I've got my first draft on Monday. I'll probably have a better feel for what I'm going to do after that thing. But
because you're sitting at like
the very end of the second round. I mean, I'm certainly going to be. He's going to be one of the players I'm looking at.
Yeah, you're at pick 22. I think people are having a hard time wrapping their head around a guy that barely has a fantasy history, to his name. You're going to take him in the second round, and he's got super consolidation in one category, and it just feels like a recipe for disaster when there's other established names out there. You could take like a Kevin Durant or something, and you feel like, well, at least there's name value there. I'm not saying any of these are smart thoughts or bad thoughts even. I'm just saying that this is the thought process that I.
What's the earliest you would take him?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't done enough compilation, if you will, of my rankings, so I'll have to pass on that one. But that's a topic that I'm going to be coming up with here pretty soon. So ask me in a couple weeks on old Dyson Daniels. And with that, unless you have anything else to add to the Dyson Daniels conversation, I'm going to move us along to Jamal Murray at number 42. Before I hit that up, I want to give a shout out to Mike Passador, who's we have player profiles week here at Sports Ethos Fantasy NBA. The reason why we highlight the player profiles is like you could win your league based on reading Mike's work. I've said this for 5 years. You've done player profiles, Doc. You know what doing a draft guide is and putting these things together. Mike, this is like his Super Bowl. He puts these things together, and not only are they they're the smartest thing you've read on basketball ever. It feels like, from a fantasy perspective, they're just never wrong. So I recommend, if you have a fantasy pass, if you're out there reading draft guide stuff, just go take a spin and then like be the smartest guy in your friend group about your favorite team. Win your fantasy league. They are that good.
Well, Brew, I said this the other day. Like I've been writing draft guides for 30 years. You've been writing draft guides for a long time.
Crazy,
We've written them together for a long time. And this thing that you're doing at Ethos, I guess we're doing at Ethos, even though I'm not a huge part of that.
Yes, you are. But go on.
The thing you guys are doing at Ethos is the best, literally the best draft guide I've ever seen. So people need to go. Just it's not that much money. Just get the subscription.
And see what
awesome
work is. Yeah, like that's like, you like to see something done well. There's a lot of just fluff out there. It's almost like multi-level marketing out there sometimes in the Twitter space. And it's like, oh, no. You can go and see like a really good work product that is actually going to move the needle with you in your fantasy league. Go check it out. Jamal Murray, 42. Man, Murray can sometimes just get in there and be good. So what's the interest level? Jamal Murray at 42.
This is a player Brew and I differ on. He loves Jamal Murray. I do not. I feel like he's always hurt. I feel like he's always hurt. I feel like he's I don't know. I just have trust issues with Jamal Murray. I like his game. I don't dislike him as a basketball player. He's a baller. I just never have him on my fantasy team. And my son loves drafting Jamal Murray. He always has him. And I never do. So I just, he's good. I'm not saying we should not be drafting him, but 42 sounds about right to me. Like if you want to draft Jamal Murray, I think that's where you're going to have to do it. But I would much rather have Dyson or Derek White than Jamal Murray.
Well, Soren enjoys a top 30 season out of Jamal Murray at 67 games. That's all it took him to get to that top 30. 88.6% from the foul line. I love that in a roto setting. 3.7 attempts per game. That's just beauteous. 36 minutes a game at Jamal Murray. That's a lot. And that he lasted 67 games at that level, that's interesting. That's good stuff. I got no problem with Jamal Murray in this range. I mean, it's dicey. It'll get the blood pumping.
He had to be among the league leaders in minutes, right?
Well, on a per game basis, yeah. There won't be too many that are higher than him.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was playing that many minutes.
What I love about Denver in general this season is that I think they're just going to go for it. We get these overseas reports and coverage from Ethos EuroLeague, which, I mean, we talk about Mike Passador. If you read any of the coverage by our EuroLeague team, there's a team. And the team is really, really good at basketball. Like they probably play it really well, but also they see the game really, really well. And the coverage over there was just outstanding. And man, I wish I could just live over there and watch that in person. It is just great stuff. The Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic. Jokic looks really, really motivated, is the word on the street out there. I think they're going to go for it. And I think this is a great season to take a chance on a Jamal Murray. I mean, I'm not going to get over my skis and just like overdraft him. But if I'm sitting there and I'm looking at a bunch of nothing and Jamal Murray's just sitting there and it just takes him 65 games to be super impactful. And what if he plays 72? What if he plays 74? Well, hell, what if he plays 78? It's crazy to think that he could be a second or a first round asset if he actually plays a ton of games. So I'll take the risk. And it is a risk. Be clear. It is a risk. It's a classic risk reward pick at that level.
He certainly doesn't have any competition for those minutes. He was number 11 minutes per game in the league last year, 36.1. Thank you, Andre. There's certainly no competition for his job, and that is useful in fantasy. And then, you look at the guys in this round. Tyler Tyler Herro, injured. Ivica Zubac, overrated. Ja Morant, no thank you. Derek White, shutdown contender. Dyson Daniels was last year a mirage. Is he a flash in the pan? Then you got old, solid and steady Jamal Murray, surrounded by old injured guy, overrated guy, almost retired guy, and then two other guys. So, I mean, out of this round, I have a feeling when we look at it at the end, who was the value pick of this round, it may end up being Jamal Murray. So the third and the fourth round, like Bruce said at the beginning of this podcast, like that is when you cannot F up your draft. Like you've got to nail round 3 and round 4.
And it ain't going to be easy this season. It is not going to be easy this season. I like the way you laid it out there. Old guy, injured guy, overrated guy. I wish we could just have the viewers just try to guess who these player names are as you go through that list. The next old guy on the list is old, safe and steady Nikola Vucevic. They might finally deal Vooch in Chicago.
I know it raises a lot of questions about can you rely on Vooch this year? And Vooch always reminds me of Matt Straub because Matt Straub drafts Vooch every year. He's like, dude, he's going to play in 75 games. He's going to hit a bunch of threes and block a bunch of shots and put up solid numbers and not cause any waves. He's just like the safest center pick there is. And he's sort of right. But I'm a little nervous about this whole.
He doesn't jump. He doesn't jump.
He does not.
How's he going to get hurt if he doesn't jump?
He does not jump.
I love it. I'm fine with Vooch here, just to throw that out there. I'm fine with Vooch.
I am too.
I guess I'm fine with it because, like, anybody trading for Vooch at the end of this year, you kind of got to have a home for him. You got to play him at least 27 minutes a game. I mean, you're not going to add Vooch at like 23 minutes a game or something. That seems a little weird. You probably got to give up something a little decent to get him. I would think teams will be competing to get his services at the end of the year during trade deadline time. So I kind of think he's just going to be slow and steady wins the race. He might be in this list one of the top plays in this list.
Yeah, him and Jamal Murray, I think.
Yeah, or Derek White and Dyson Daniels. That quadrant of players feels the safest and has the highest capability production. I probably have Dyson Daniels on the top of this list, regardless of all the pros and cons that we sort of hashed out. But Vooch, slow and steady, wins the race. You know, and he played 82 games the other season, and he was a top 5 guy just by being slow and steady. So there's actually upside with Nik Vucevic.
You don't say that about 34-year-old guys very often.
That get, well, I don't know, have my stats in front of me. Like, it's like a block a game or something. You know,
I wonder how old he is.
Yeah, I'll go 34. Speaking of upside, Kawhi Leonard, number 44. Anybody heard about Kawhi Leonard this summer? Was anything going on with him?
I haven't heard his name in a while, which is good.
Quiet. He's a quiet guy. He's a fun guy. He may or may not show up to work.
He's a fun guy.
Steve Ballmer. Not that I have any history with that guy.
Oh, I nailed it. 34 years old.
You nailed it?
Yeah, for Vooch. Vooch is 34.
That's a young age. He can handle some playoff minutes. Kawhi, man. I guess we'll just ignore all of the aspiration scandal and everything that's allegedly going on there.
Are we going to ignore it though? Because what is going to happen? It seems like every time I see a news story about that, it's bigger than the one before. Like, it seems like it's snowballing down the mountain.
I think it's great that I don't know if they were messing with Pablo Torre, who broke the news. Pablo is a capital J journalist. He's not messing around. Like, I think people thought that like he had the one report and that was it. I mean, maybe I think people who are in the league that are in journalism that know how this works, they weren't silly enough to think this, but I think a lot of people, and I wonder how much the Clippers and even like Mark Cuban thought about, like, oh, maybe he's only got this one thing. He's got more in the holster. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he has like 3 or 4 more bullets in the holster. So in the defense of everything that's going on, that you play your hand and it's like, oh no, well, I've got this now. And then you basically just get twisted up. And that's why you cannot go aggressively against Pablo Torre. He probably has 3 or 4 more waiting in the holster. So to your point, if this gets worse, I don't know if there's suspension potential here for Kawhi Leonard. Like, heavy.
I feel like they're going after the guys with the money and the guys that were doing all of this stuff, which Kawhi may have been like, hey man, we'll do this if you guys hook me up. But he didn't. I don't feel like he did all the
well,
stuff.
And you got Uncle Dennis
be guilty.
Kawhi's Uncle Dennis is notorious for Uncle Dennis. He deserves a sitcom at this point. I think I mean, man, this guy has really gotten his name out there for asking for things, ownership of franchises, allegedly. Follow Sam Amick for some great reporting from The Athletic on that as well. If this is the fun part, Andre's making jokes in the chat. I just kind of like, if you void Kawhi's contract, in a way that can almost be helpful for the Clippers and also for Kawhi. He could sign for the minimum with the Lakers, was the joke in the chat. I don't think they could do that. I feel like they'd have to suspend him for some amount of games, and I don't even think they can under the collective bargaining agreement. So I think from a fantasy perspective, you almost have to approach Kawhi Leonard as like, this isn't going to impact him at all. And if he has some big penalty, let's say they suspend him for 10 games, if it's even doable under the CBA, that's 10 games off. That's a mid-season break. He can just get his legs back underneath him and, take less impact and be more durable as a result of it. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe this news just helps him in fantasy leagues. He's going to be perpetually overdrafted anyway. And if you can manage the time off, if you have a setting where you can put him in an IR slot, or you just don't, it doesn't matter until the end of the year, his value goes way up. In a roto setting, or if you need him on a day-to-day basis, his value gets tough. What was your general overall outlook on Kawhi? Just, I think, pre-scandal.
I was kind of in on him this year. I love the fact he played the whole second half of the season last year without any real issues. He looked great. He played great. The Clippers are built to win right now, so they need him out there. He's motivated. I don't feel like I think he used to be a guy that was like, man, I'm not playing if I don't feel right. And now he's like, I got to play. I got to play every game that I can. And I'm just kind of feeling it. I think he's going to have a big year. Late 4th round. Is that too early for Kawhi Leonard? Maybe. But
Kawhi in the ringer leagues, where there's a lot of cash on the line, he was going at like 100 last year. It was pretty cool. I don't know if I actually squeezed the value out of that, but to draft Kawhi at 10, kind of just laughing like, well, when he's playing, I might have a first rounder on my hands. It was a fun little thing. I don't know. Last year. He was. It creates roster problems to have dead weight. That's the side of the coin with that. I would not draft him in the 4th round. I don't think.
I think 4th round's too early. If I get him in the 6th, I'm cool with that. Maybe late 5th, but a 4th you got to have a sure thing, and he's not a sure thing.
I think head-to-head leagues have to have some sort of logic built into their system that rewards the regular season. There's a lot of different variations that you can get to. Maybe we could do a show on that at some point in time. But in a normal situation, I think I don't like him in the 4th round. This next name on the list is somebody who has been overperforming, and with a new coach in Mike Brown for New York, Josh Hart at 45. It's kind of a question mark for me this season. I haven't compiled my ranks, so I don't know exactly where Josh Hart slides in. I think that for me will be my final decision maker with this. But how you feeling about old Josh Hart this season?
I actually really like Josh Hart. I just don't like Josh Hart at 45. Like that seems, and he's been really good the last 2 seasons. Like the rebounds have been off the charts. The PRA has been good. But Tom Thibodeau is running him into the ground for the last 2 years and playing him. He probably led the league in minutes. Would be my guess. Was he number one?
I think he might have been. It was like 38 or something last year.
So he was being run into the ground. Now we got Mike Brown there. He's kind of chill. He's not going to be just driving these guys to play every single minute they can. And I just think that we're setting up for a Josh Hart fail. Like he's coming off a career year, coming off 2 really good years, new coach, lots of balance on that team. I'm not messing with Josh Hart in the 4th round.
It's unfair. I was going to ask you who number 1 in minutes per game was, but then Andre put it on the screen. It was Tyrese Maxey, number 1 at 37.7, but Josh Hart, number 2 at 37.6. Feels like those minutes are harder, than the minutes Maxey played, because he's in there getting the rebound, taking it all the way down the floor, crashing into the floor, hitting the ground, defending the other team's better players. It's pretty tough. And then Hart did it for 77 games.
Maxey did what, 45?
Yeah. And also Mike Brown. I mean, Mike Brown is a huge proponent of drive and kick basketball, and that is not what they played under Tom Thibodeau. It was very much a Jalen Brunson driven offense, and with Hart, he kind of does that as a natural setting. And I don't think that Mike Brown's going to want to take that away, but maybe there could be something else there. If he's one of the guys that can break the paint, maybe he gets a few extra touches. It's hard to say, but Josh Hart was definitely getting a lot of run. And I don't know if that's going to be the MO for Mike Brown. And I don't know what the players think about that. Maybe they grew accustomed to playing that many minutes, and they're going to ask for that many minutes, and they can, in that rotation, get that many minutes. So there's a lot of different variables, but if he gets 33 minutes, there's a lot of value loss there. It's a lot of value loss. Josh Hart plays like a top 60 guy in that range for minutes. So a lot of different variables. I think 45 without looking, at that final product of the Bruski 150, which will be out, I believe, at September 30. Well, that feels like tomorrow. I think my stress level went through the roof.
11 days.
You're getting on it, son. It's I know. Well, it's this time of year. It's fun. This rush of putting this together and having the pressure. And Ethos 360 subscribers, that's our top tier membership, get access on September 30. So get to the website. It's a newly revamped website, by the way, guys. The tech team is doing some amazing stuff. Wait till we get into about 3 weeks from now and we start releasing some of the stuff that's just sitting behind the curtain waiting to astound you guys. But B150 Ethos 360 September 30, 11 days away. We'll get there. This next name on the list, well, wouldn't you know, the man is on the Luka diet. He's not wearing a knee brace. There's practice footage of him everywhere. The svelte, light-footed, and light-hearted Joel Embiid, waiting to be drafted. Will you take the plunge, sir?
Are you serious, Clark? Like there's video of him looking good in practice?
There is video of him looking good in practice.
Huh. I'll be damned.
But let's qualify good. He does look thin-ish. He is not wearing a knee brace. What else?
I have somehow this video has escaped me. It's incredible.
It's not in the algorithm.
You could tell me anything you want to about Joel Embiid right now, and I'm not even considering drafting him at all, let alone in the 4th round.
If he moonwalks across the floor, does a triple crossover, and then just jams on somebody,
do not care.
If he plays 48 minutes in an exhibition game,
Dude, the last time you and I were on together, you're like, yeah, I feel
don't
like
think
he's
he's-
going to be retired by the end of the year. And now it's like, dude, he looks incredible.
No. I do need to be a little serious here for folks. It's a data point. I think it's a data point. If he had not done this, gone out, been filmed, looking thin. I mean, the no knee brace thing is what? I mean, they're not doing full contact. This isn't like game situations. He'll probably have the brace on if I had to guess, when it comes down to it. If he hadn't done any of this, because he didn't do any of this last year. Last year, huge question marks, just like doom and gloom every which way. I guess the thinking, if he's turned it around, so to speak, is that he's that last year was like a gap year for everybody, but not like a predetermined gap year. Like it all went to hell immediately, and they all just said, well, if this thing's going to hell, let's just be terrible and let's just make it really go to hell and get VJ Edgecombe out of it. But I guess my thought process before all of this, seeing just a human being that's thin and smiling, I was really questioning whether or not he would be able to play significant basketball ever again in his career.
And I still am questioning that. Like, I'm not getting suckered by some AI,
some
fake video, fake news.
Honestly, like we're gonna get to a point like 5-10 years from now where we just don't know. We're just like, could be. I don't know. Maybe Joel Embiid did play last night. I don't know. Maybe he did score 30, but was it really him? Did the game even happen? Was anybody in Philly last night to see if this game actually took place? Can anybody get the tinfoil off of my head?
Oh, would you draft Joel Embiid this year?
No. But I gotta keep. You can't get stuck. I think in whatever thinking you've got on this stuff. Like if he's out there and he's playing ball and he looks spry, and like if all the vibes are there, then I think you have to start looking at him as an extraordinarily distressed asset, and that there is some potential upside, even if it doesn't work out. Last year was a lot of calculations like, okay, what if the dude plays 40 games? What if he plays 60 games? I had Joel Embiid in like two teams at least, and it was a calculated risk. And the ringers were almost more aggressive than me to try to make that happen. Because if he plays 60 games and he's got the same sort of stats as he's had in the past, well, you're looking at a first rounder. So yeah, if he's inside the top 100, I'd probably draft him. If the vibes keep up.
Well, if the vibes keep up and he's already at 40 something, he's not gonna be there at 100.
No. I think if the vibes keep up, I would probably start thinking, what if about a fourth round pick?
Yeah.
And then I slide it back from there.
And he was awesome a couple of years ago. And then he got hurt at the end of the year and it was over. But you got to look at risk and you got to look at reward, and the reward is tremendous, but the risk is also tremendous. I'm probably out all the way around. All right, Brew, we got 7 minutes and 2 more guys.
I love that. I love that so much because I had more to go on Joel Embiid, and I'm just
well. Then keep going.
Oh, okay. Now that you've opened the door, I think people also look at this as like, yeah, he was taken in the second round last year. And so if I'm getting him in the 4th or the 5th, I think people got to make decisions on weird little gut level things. And they go, well, man, I'm getting like a three round discount on Joel Embiid. So I do think the action will probably keep him within the 4th or 5th round. Let's talk Miles Turner.
What if? I mean, you could draft a team with LaMelo Ball, Ja Morant, and Joel Embiid and Zion Williamson on it. And if this is the year they all decide to play, you're going to be awesome.
I did that last year, and I think I posted the team. I can't remember what I did with it, and Joel was on it, and that team like almost won it all. But it was Joel that held it back. It was like Paul George it was like a team of that, and I went for it, and it did not. It didn't work because of him and myself.
And Paul George.
And
I'm sure Paul George has something to do with their collapse.
Oh, yeah. In a roto setting with 82 games and however many slots we start, it's the best player definitely wins. And I was not in that particular league the best player. Okay. Miles Turner, Milwaukee Bucks. Go.
Brew, do you have something for the people that are watching us live on Twitter?
Oh, yeah. Well, we have a lot of content that's not available here. And if you go to sportsethos.com, subscribe to the Sports Ethos YouTube channel, check out the podcast feed. You guys will be plugged in as well as that plug for all that was. How do you like that?
Nice.
It's like riding a
Miles
bike.
Turner, the great enemy of the Indiana Pacers and the Indiana fan base now, the traitor. Indiana Milwaukee
Those
games are going to be
bastards in Indy couldn't pay the guy.
Apparently they never got a chance to because Miles just left.
The stories. What's
going to be funny is when the Pacers end up being better than Milwaukee this year.
Amen to that.
But anyway, Miles Turner, 3-pointers and blocks. I like it. Late 4th round sounds pretty decent to me. Maybe you can get him in the 5th. I'd rather have him in the 5th. There's so many centers available in fantasy these days that I don't like drafting them early unless I'm getting a really, really good one. And Turner's blocks and threes are potent. Like they are nice. So I'm okay with this ADP.
It's a fine ADP. And there could be some value gain here. The rebounds, especially next to Giannis, always not great. A little bit light in the field goal percentage because of the 3-point shooting. It's kind of works against him. I'm concerned and curious about the end of Milwaukee season if it all goes to hell. And we'll move on to this guy, the one, the only Zion Williamson. Perennially overdrafted year after year. Is there anything new you want to add to the Zion conversation? I think folks that watch this show know that Zion's just a bust.
Anything new? I have not seen any pictures of him looking svelte and healthy and balling like we saw last year. More fake news. And I'm not going to draft Zion. I feel like this is the end of his time in New Orleans this year. I feel like they're done. He's done. I think a new setting would be good for everyone involved, but I don't have anything new. I just don't trust the guy.
I love this. Andre's always on us to keep the show underneath an hour, and he wants us to tackle this. Who plays more games this season? Ingram, Zion, or Embiid? By games played, rank these 3 players. Go.
I'm going in that order. I like Ingram, Zion, Embiid.
I think, I'm good with that. I'm good with that for now. I need to see more AI footage of Embiid.
I need to see Brandon Ingram. I haven't seen that dude in like 2.5 years.
That's a topic right there. Okay, we're going to switch gears. FanDuel, our most wonderful sponsor, has us talking win totals. Washington Wizards, 21.5 wins. You over, you under?
Brought to you by FanDuel. 21.5 wins for the Wizards. They are going to. That's going to be close. I think I think I'm going to take the over, but I'm not betting it.
That's probably
it's going to be real close to that.
I like the over. But this idea that they're probably going to be in the top take slots, down the stretch, and then trying to get better odds. But who knows? And I think this team wants to win a little bit. I think they've got some young players that are capable of winning. The CJ McCollum stuff's interesting. I want to see if I take the over. My best case scenario here is they just rattle off a bunch of wins early while teams don't care. And then they can eke out the rest of the whatever 10 wins they need to get, over the last half of the season or something. And that will, be pins and needles probably down the stretch. But that will be my play, will be over. And that's going to do it for this show. Big thanks to Andre Lamouche, best producer in the business. Shout out, Rick. Can't wait to do a show with you here soon. Fantasy leagues, guys, get into our fantasy leagues. We've already gotten a ton of people emailing, tweeting, all the things. Basically, if you win these leagues, you get chances to play in other leagues. Send an email to support@sportsethos.com to get the old book O leagues that get sent out, and you can pick the league that you like and get in there, try to win some cash, play in some good competition, and just have a plain old good time. Doc, it's great to do a show with you. Can't wait to get into the rhythm again. Can't wait to get the B150 out. Can't wait for games to start. We're starting to see reports coming out of practices and media days pretty soon here. This is all going to start happening really fast, and then we'll get the blood pumping. Next thing you know, it'll be April. We'll wonder how the hell did we age another year? Thank you guys for all of your support out there, especially as I've been getting back into the content game. Just getting messages from you guys offline has been great. We're going to have a big season here at Sports Ethos, so you all tune in to all the various feeds, and we will see you next time.